Chosen one, there comes a time in your journey where you begin to realize that being around too many people doesn't feel right anymore. You might notice that what used to feel natural, being in crowds, blending in, moving with the rhythm of others, suddenly feels heavy, almost suffocating. It is not because you are antisocial, nor because you are unworthy of connection. Quite the opposite. It is because your energy, your spirit, and your purpose have become so elevated that not everyone can hold space for you anymore. The more you awaken to your true calling, the more you will feel the subtle clash between your essence and the noise of the world. This is not a punishment. It is protection. It is the way life preserves your strength and focus so that you are not drained by what was never meant to walk with you. And before we go deeper into this message, I want you to remember that the very fact you are here, listening to this right now, is no accident. You are aligned with this moment for a reason. So I ask you, watch until the very end, because there are things here your spirit has been waiting to hear. And as you do, take a moment to write your most heartfelt wishes in the comments below, along with 777, as a symbol of divine alignment. Share this energy, because when you release your intentions into the world, you invite the universe to align them with your path. And of course, subscribe to stay connected to this community of light, so that you are always reminded that you are never alone on this journey. Now, chosen one, let us return to why your spirit feels uneasy when surrounded by too many people. The truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand apart. You carry within you a frequency that is rare, so rare that not everyone can recognize it, let alone handle it. This is why sometimes, being in large groups leaves you feeling tired, disconnected, or even misunderstood. Your spirit operates on a different level, and when it encounters too much conflicting energy, it can feel like walking into a storm. Your mind becomes foggy, your emotions shift unpredictably, and afterward, you feel like you need hours, sometimes days, to recover. This is not weakness. It is a sign of your sensitivity, a sensitivity that is not a flaw, but a gift. Many people around you do not realize how heavy their words, thoughts, and actions carry in the unseen realm. They may casually complain, gossip, or project negativity, but to someone like you, someone attuned to energy, these vibrations can cut deep. Where others can shrug it off, you absorb it, because your heart is open. Where others can keep moving without thought, you reflect, you question, you feel. This openness is what makes you a healer, an empath, a visionary. But it also makes you vulnerable when you are surrounded by too many who have not yet learned how to carry themselves in alignment. That is why solitude is not your enemy. It is your medicine. The world often glorifies constant connection, endless interactions, and being surrounded by people as the sign of a fulfilling life. But for the chosen, fulfillment does not come from quantity. It comes from quality. It comes from a few souls who truly understand, who pour into you as much as you pour into them. It comes from the sacred silence where you can hear your own thoughts and sense the whispers of the divine. It comes from being in spaces where your spirit can expand instead of contract. And this, chosen one, is why not everyone is meant to walk with you. Because if you allowed everyone access to your energy, you would have nothing left for the work you are truly meant to do. When you limit who you allow into your circle, you are not being selfish. You are being wise. You are guarding your purpose. You are protecting the flame within you that was never meant to be dimmed by the winds of carelessness or envy. Not everyone has your best intentions at heart. Some will come close only to drain, only to take, only to silence the very light they secretly envy. And though it hurts to step back, though it sometimes feels lonely, know this, that loneliness is not emptiness, it is clarity. It is the clearing of space so that what is truly aligned can find you. So the next time you feel guilty for needing space, remember that it is not rejection of others, it is acceptance of yourself. The next time you feel the urge to pull away from the crowd, remember that you are not losing connection, you are deepening it with what truly matters. This is why you cannot be around too many people, because your path requires focus, your spirit requires peace, and your destiny requires strength. And strength cannot grow in the noise of everyone else's opinions. It grows in the stillness where you meet yourself and the one who chose you. Chosen one. There is something you must understand about the people around you. Not all of them are meant to receive the fullness of who you are. Some of them may smile in your face, but their spirit reacts to yours in ways even they do not fully understand. When your light enters a room, it disturbs the shadows that others have chosen to live in. Your presence alone can expose things in people they would rather keep hidden, and because of that, they might reject you, misunderstand you, or even envy you. This is not because you have done anything wrong. It is because your spirit is awake, while theirs may still be asleep. That's why being surrounded by too many people often leaves you feeling drained. It is not that you lack strength. It is that you are constantly carrying more than your share of the spiritual weight in the room. Think about the moments when you've been around certain groups of people and afterward, you felt exhausted, even though you hadn't done anything physically demanding. That exhaustion wasn't from your body, it was from your spirit. Some individuals unconsciously pull on your energy, seeking to draw from your peace, your joy, your clarity, because they themselves are lacking it. Others consciously seek to distract you, to pull you into chaos, to silence the calm you carry. This is why the chosen one often feels like their presence attracts both deep admiration and inexplicable opposition. You are a mirror, and when people look at you, they are forced to see themselves, both the parts they love and the parts they avoid. This is why the divine keeps guiding you away from certain environments. It is not isolation, it is preservation. Imagine trying to grow a delicate plant in a crowded field where weeds are choking out the soil. The plant cannot thrive, not because it lacks strength, but because it is suffocated. The chosen one is like that plant, and solitude is the rich soil where your roots can deepen. If you were constantly surrounded by noise, opinions, and competing energies, you would never have the clarity to hear your own calling. This is why, over and over, you may find that connections fall away, groups shift, doors close. It is not rejection, it is redirection. Many times, you may feel misunderstood by your family, friends, or coworkers, wondering why it seems so hard to connect on a deeper level. But chosen one, understand this. You are carrying something they cannot carry. Your siblings, your peers, your companions may not have the same spiritual assignment you do, and because of that, the weight you hold is different. You cannot expect them to understand burdens they were never meant to bear. Sometimes, they may even judge you for pulling back, accusing you of being distant, cold, or detached. But what they cannot see is that this distance is necessary for you to protect your soul. You must also realize that not everyone has pure intentions. Some people are drawn to your energy, not because they want to uplift it, but because they want to consume it. These are what many call energy vampires. They thrive on draining others, keeping them stuck in cycles of drama, gossip, or confusion. And when they see someone like you, calm, focused, spiritually awake, they see a source of energy they can feed off of. If you let them too close, they will siphon your light until you feel like a shell of yourself. This is why the divine gives you an inner alarm, that uneasy feeling when you are in certain crowds or conversations. Pay attention to it, because it is a warning that your spirit does not belong there. Chosen one, you must never apologize for being selective about where you go, who you share with, and how you spend your time. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is sacred. If you waste your light on those who only seek to dim it, you will have nothing left for the purpose that truly matters. You were not created to be accessible to everyone. You were created to be impactful to the right ones. That is why your circle is small, why your solitude is necessary, why the path feels narrow. The divine trims away what does not serve you, even when you resist it, because too much unnecessary weight could break you before you reach where you're meant to go. The truth is, your sensitivity is not a curse. It is a compass. That inner resistance you feel when you're around too many people is not fear. It is guidance. It is a sign that you are not supposed to drown in the noise of the crowd, but rise above it. It is a reminder that your mission requires clarity, focus, and strength that cannot be built when you are constantly pulled into other people's storms. Do not mistake your need for solitude as weakness. It is the greatest sign of your strength, because only the strong can walk alone when necessary. Chosen one, what feels like isolation is often the sacred preparation ground. Many times you may wonder why you can't seem to blend into groups the way others do. Why gatherings that seem to energize others leave you feeling heavy and restless. The truth is, your spirit operates on a frequency that not everyone can handle. When others are comfortable in noise, you are called to silence. When others are distracted by temporary pleasures, you are being refined for something greater. Your solitude is not punishment, it is training. It is the place where you are stripped of illusions, tested in resilience, and strengthened in faith. Imagine a musician trying to tune their instrument in the middle of a loud crowd. No matter how skilled they are, the surrounding chaos makes it impossible to hear the true sound. That is what it feels like for you, chosen one, when you are constantly surrounded by people. Their energies, their emotions, their distractions drown out your inner melody. But when you step into solitude, suddenly the noise fades, and you can hear clearly again. That is when the divine voice becomes audible. That is when revelations flow. That is when you realize that your path is not meant to mirror the majority. It is meant to set a new standard. Too often, people confuse being alone with being lonely. But you know by now that these are not the same. Loneliness is emptiness, but solitude is fullness. It is in solitude that the chosen one discovers their identity beyond the opinions of others. It is in solitude that old wounds are healed, hidden strengths are revealed, and clarity about the future is sharpened. Every great transformation requires separation. Just as gold is refined in fire, the chosen one is refined in silence. Without this process, you would never fully grasp the weight of your assignment. Think back on your journey. Hasn't it been in your loneliest seasons that you found the deepest truths? Hasn't it been when everyone else walked away that you discovered who truly walks with you? Those moments when you felt abandoned were actually moments when the divine drew closer. It was not that people failed you. It was that they could no longer accompany you into the level you were being called to. And that realization may sting at first, but it becomes liberating. Because once you stop expecting everyone to understand you, you finally understand yourself. The chosen one carries a frequency that unsettles many. Think about it. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. People who were laughing in shallow conversation suddenly grow quiet. Those hiding behind facades suddenly feel exposed. Your presence is not ordinary. It carries weight. This is why not everyone can sit with you, walk with you, or remain close to you. To them, it feels uncomfortable, even threatening, because your frequency demands authenticity. And many people are simply not ready for that. But do not misunderstand. This does not mean you are better than others. It simply means you are different. And your difference is not meant to be diluted just to make others feel comfortable. You were not chosen to blend in. You were chosen to stand out. The divine did not set you apart only to watch you bury your light under the weight of other people's approval. You cannot carry what you were meant to carry if you're constantly lowering your vibration to match theirs. That is why so many doors close, why so many circles feel small, why so many people drift away. It is divine pruning, and though it may hurt in the moment, it always leads to growth. Chosen one, learn to embrace your solitude as sacred. See it not as absence but as abundance, because in that space, your spirit expands beyond limitation. In that quiet, your vision becomes sharper. In that aloneness, your heart grows stronger. Do not resist the process. Do not run back into crowds just to feel safe. The crowds cannot protect you. They can only distract you. Your true protection is found in your alignment, your clarity, and your willingness to walk the path few dare to walk. And when the time is right, the divine will bring people who match your frequency. You won't have to chase them. You won't have to explain yourself endlessly. They will simply recognize you, and you will recognize them. Until then, see your solitude as the fertile soil where your destiny is taking root. For Chosen One, you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to transform. Chosen One, have you ever noticed how being in large groups drains you in ways that others don't seem to understand? Where others thrive in constant noise, endless conversations, and the presence of many faces, you begin to feel suffocated, as if your very spirit is being compressed. It is not because you are antisocial, nor because you lack love for people. It is because your energy operates differently. You are designed to absorb deeply, to feel intensely, and to carry spiritual weight. When you are in spaces with too many energies colliding, it is not just your body that becomes tired. It is your spirit that feels heavy. There is something that people don't often realize. Every room carries energy. Every person carries an atmosphere. And when you step into large gatherings, you are not just meeting faces. You are meeting countless energies, unspoken burdens, hidden intentions, and unseen spirits. For most people, this is background noise. But for the Chosen One, it is overwhelming because you don't just notice it, you carry it. You feel the anger people hide behind their smiles. You sense the jealousy beneath friendly words. You detect the sadness tucked behind laughter. And after a while, it becomes too much. That is why you can't linger in too many crowds without losing your balance. But understand this. The divine designed you this way for a reason. You were not called to get lost in the masses. You were called to be selective, intentional, and pure in your connections. Too many people around you would dilute your spirit, but fewer, aligned souls sharpen your vision. That is why your circle is smaller. That is why your relationships are deeper rather than wider. And that is why solitude feels like home, while crowds feel like chaos. Because your power grows in stillness, not in noise. Think about how seeds grow. They are never thrown into the marketplace to develop in the open where everyone can trample them. They are placed in the dark soil, hidden away, covered from the eyes of the world. It is in that hidden place, away from noise and exposure, that life begins to sprout. Chosen One, that is your life. You are not meant to bloom in the chaos of large gatherings. You are meant to grow in hidden places, in quiet seasons, where the divine can shape you without interference. This is why crowds feel wrong. It is not where you are designed to expand. And yet, many times you may feel guilty for this. You may ask yourself, why can't I just enjoy what others enjoy? Why do I feel so drained when everyone else is energized? But hear this. Your difference is not a flaw. It is protection. Crowds are often filled with distractions, temptations, and energies that would distort your clarity. If you stayed in them too long, your vision would blur, your calling would weaken, and your focus would shatter. The divine removes you from them, not to punish you, but to preserve you. You are not missing out. You are being saved from entanglements that would slow you down. Your power, Chosen One, comes from alignment, and alignment requires silence. It requires space. It requires you to be able to hear yourself, hear the divine, and sense the subtle shifts of destiny without interruption. Too many voices create confusion. Too many opinions cloud your judgment. Too many presences weaken your energy. That is why the Chosen One cannot remain around too many people. It is not rejection. It is preservation of purpose. And here lies the paradox. The very thing that feels like isolation is the source of your strength. The quiet moments, the hours when no one calls, the seasons when people fade away. These are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of alignment. You are being positioned to carry something that cannot be carried in crowds. Your strength is birthed in silence. Your clarity is sharpened in solitude. Your destiny is anchored in stillness. So when the world tells you that you're missing out, when family or friends don't understand why you pull away, When gatherings feel like weight instead of joy, remember this truth. You are not built to run with the many. You are built to rise with the few. Your frequency is too high for overcrowded spaces. Your spirit is too sensitive for reckless environments. Your energy is too rare to be wasted on everyone. And the divine knows this. That is why you are guided away, time and time again, to quieter paths. Chosen one, embrace this. Do not resist your wiring. Do not fight your design. You are not meant to absorb the chaos of the world. You are meant to filter it, to transform it, to release light into it. And that requires strength, which only solitude can give you. What feels like separation is actually empowerment. What feels like distance is actually closeness to the divine. And what feels like silence is actually the loudest preparation of your life. Chosen one, what may feel like a limitation, the inability to stay too long around too many people, is in reality one of your greatest rewards. Because every time you are removed from what seems lively and exciting to others, you are quietly being granted access to treasures that cannot be found in the noise. Your solitude is a gateway. It is a hidden door to insight, creativity, discernment, and spiritual depth that the crowd will never know. Where they see isolation, you are living in divine investment. Where they see loneliness, you are drinking from wells of wisdom. Think about it. Crowds rarely offer depth. In gatherings, conversations skim the surface, laughter hides the pain, and connections often remain shallow. But you, chosen one, are not built for surface-level living. You are called to carry weight, to discern truth, to see beyond the mask. That kind of sight requires stillness. That kind of wisdom requires distance. That kind of power requires solitude. It is in the moments when you step away from people that your mind clears, your spirit strengthens, and your true self rises. The reward of your solitude is clarity. When others are blinded by noise and influence, you see patterns. You notice the truth others overlook. You discern the hidden motives behind words. You perceive the direction you must take before anyone else does. And this clarity is not random. It is the gift of the divine. The less people around you, the more room heaven has to whisper to you. The fewer voices in your ear, the clearer the guidance becomes. And this is why you can't afford to drown in crowds, because you are needed to see what others cannot. Another hidden reward is protection. Many of the battles you never had to fight, many of the betrayals you were spared, and many of the traps you avoided were all because you were kept away from certain groups. You didn't realize it at the time. You may have felt left out or even rejected, but in truth, it was your shield. The divine saw what you could not see. The envy in their eyes, the sabotage in their hands, the destruction in their words. And so, you were guided away. That empty room, that canceled plan, that sudden loss of connection, it was not rejection, it was rescue. And what about strength? Being alone has forged something in you that cannot be taught in crowds. Crowds breed dependence. Solitude breeds resilience. Others need constant validation, but you learn to validate yourself. Others collapse when ignored, but you discovered how to stand in silence. Others crave the comfort of numbers, but you found peace in being outnumbered. You, chosen one, have been built in ways that make you unshakable. And this strength was not found in busy rooms. It was found in your quiet nights. Then comes creativity. Solitude is the soil where ideas are born. When you are away from too many people, you begin to hear your own thoughts clearly. You begin to dream again. You begin to imagine differently. Some of your most powerful visions, your sharpest strategies, your deepest revelations, these came to you not in the middle of noise, but in silence. The divine gave you space so that your creativity would not be drowned out by the endless chatter of the crowd. What others missed in distraction, you received in focus. Do you see it now? This inability to remain in crowds is not a weakness. It is your advantage. While others lose themselves in the masses, you discover yourself in the quiet. While they are caught up in collective trends, you are receiving timeless wisdom. While they are drained by constant exposure, you are refueled in secret places. The chosen one's reward is not being everywhere. It is being in the right places, with the right people, at the right times. Quality over quantity, depth over width, purpose over popularity. And here is another truth. The divine often hides his greatest treasures in places that feel empty. He hides revelation in silence. He hides strength in struggle. He hides clarity in loneliness. Because only those who are willing to endure the absence of crowds will find them. Only those who can handle the silence will uncover the secrets. And that is you. You are one of the few willing to walk away from what is popular in order to find what is eternal. So when you are pulled back from gatherings, when your energy collapses in noisy environments, when people label you as distant or detached, remember, chosen one, you are not being robbed of joy. You are being handed a crown. You are not missing life. You are gaining purpose. You are not being punished. You are being rewarded with clarity, protection, strength, and creativity. These are your hidden treasures. And the more you embrace your solitude, the more these treasures multiply. Chosen one, never again see your distance from the crowd as something wrong. See it as something sacred. Your difference is your distinction. Your solitude is your preparation. And the very thing that others see as weakness is, in reality, the weapon that will carry you into the future. Chosen one, you have walked through silence, through isolation, through the heavy weight of being unable to remain in the company of too many people. You have wrestled with feelings of being misunderstood, of not fitting in, of standing apart even when you tried to belong. Yet what you may not have fully seen is that all along, you were being shaped for something far greater than blending into crowds. You were being crafted into a vessel that could hold truths, wisdom, and strength that most people will never be trusted with. Your separation was not punishment. It was preparation. And as the seasons unfold, you will begin to understand that this path, though narrow and lonely, was carved for you to walk in power. Your solitude has always been a shield. Every time you felt like the door was closed, it was protecting you from energies, influences, and traps that would have weakened you. Every canceled plan, every friendship that didn't last, every group that pushed you away was the divine pulling you back to safety. And now, looking back, you will begin to recognize that what you once called rejection was really redirection. You weren't excluded, you were preserved. And the reason is simple. Your spirit is too rare to be consumed by noise. Your purpose is too great to be buried in distractions. Your destiny is too precious to be diluted by the wrong company. But there is more. Your distance has also given you the ability to see clearly what others cannot. While the crowd drowns in confusion, you discern the patterns. While many lose themselves in shallow connections, you find meaning in stillness. While others are led by trends, you are guided by truth. This clarity is your gift. It is what allows you to sense when something isn't right, to perceive opportunities others overlook, and to walk confidently even when the path ahead is not fully visible. Without the silence you were forced into, you would not have developed this vision. Without the separation, you would not have heard the whispers that now lead you forward. And chosen one, your strength has been forged in the furnace of solitude. Others depend on crowds to validate them, but you have learned to stand on your own. Others crumble without constant attention, but you discovered how to survive in silence. Others break when unseen, but you thrived in obscurity. Your resilience was not built in the spotlight. It was built in the shadows. And because of that, when the time comes for you to rise, you will not be shaken. You will not need applause to keep going. You will not collapse under pressure. You have been trained in silence to endure storms that others cannot withstand. This is why you cannot be around too many people. It is not weakness. It is sacred design. Your solitude is not a cage. It is a sanctuary. It is where your creativity blossoms, where your wisdom deepens, where your soul is refined. You are being prepared for moments when the world will demand answers only you can give, when lives will need strength only you can provide.